everyone. Welcome to Creativity-Hive's weekly program. And if you've been following us, you know that I'm Miriam Haugen and I'm part of the Creativity-Hive team. And today we have something a little different. We are departing from our normal. We often are interviewing people, talking to people that are working in various aspects of motion media, from broadcasting to video and related industries. But today we're going to talk about one of our favorite things, After Effects. And so I'm going to bring on, woohoo, the After Effects guru,
After Effects.
Mr. Mo.
Hey, everyone. Hi, that's my feeble attempt at making an A. So yes, hi Miriam. So
All right.
what are we gonna do? We're gonna do something that's called "What is After Effects?" That's
what is After Effects?
And that's my question to everyone that's watching, including Neil and Miriam. Hi Neil. So could you maybe perhaps both of you maybe answer the question? What is After Effects?
I'll go first. After Effects is a program that most people think of for either graphics or VFX work that allows you to either create things from scratch or take pre-existing still images or video, do them. And that's about what everybody knows about it. It's how it works or what you do in it is, something that most people don't really have any clue.
Good answer. Let's hear from Miriam Ha.
Okay, I don't know that I can do anything better than that. I'm just going to say it's a big, scary program that is really intimidating.
And what do you think it actually does?
It does cool effects in to video. You can do different things with text and compositing and all explosions that weren't really there to begin with. And
well, for an example, that introduction at the beginning of our show every week, Mo did that in After Effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just use the word After Effects, but little thought is given to why it's actually been called After Effects. Why was it not called Before Effects? So the reason it's called After Effects is simply because you add the effects after the footage or whatever that you're shooting, or maybe it's just the motion graphics side of it. So After Effects is actually a pretty cool program that most people love to speak about. Most people love to watch on YouTube, watch on a lot of movies, and don't really realize that there's a lot of magic behind it, and are too afraid to actually open up the software. And when they open up the software, they kind of decide, hey, let me rather have a cup of coffee, because no, I just feel a little bit nervous looking at this game. So let's look at what After Effects actually kind of can do, and what in the series of really fun little explainers we're going to kind of cover. And you're not going to believe that you can cover this sort of stuff in a fun way, but you are. So I can promise you that you'd be able to create any of the effects. You're welcome to download this video, pick any piece of effect that you see on this video, and tell me live, recreate this for me and show me how it's done. And I promise you I will do it for you. And by the time I'm done, you will be able to manage to do some of it, I guess. Maybe not completely, but you will get a lot done. So Miriam, really wanted to roll that video that we have.
You bet.
Okay, so that's pretty much a lot of the stuff that After Effects can do. And we watch movies and we take it for granted that it looks real and it's got to be real, and it's never ever real because there's no cities in the background and there's no people flying around in space. And Iron Man is actually not a real person. He's an actor. Spider-Man doesn't exist. He's a Marvel comic character. And Superman, I personally think he does exist or something, but that's just me. So let me share my screen without saying too much more. So, all right, okay, all right. So I think, yeah, am I being shared? Yes, I am being shared. All right. So you guys can all see my screen, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this long screen, and you're seeing it as being quite wide, is because it's an ultra wide monitor. This is what After Effects actually looks like, and this is quite different compared to what you actually just saw, because how do we now create this kind of cool stuff that's going on the screen? So what I will do, and this is not a tutorial by any standard, is I'm just going to bring in that video that we saw just now, and we'll just kind of put it in here so that we can actually see a little bit of the stuff that we saw earlier. All right, let me just get that here. All right, so if we look at here, let's look at this typically, it's a very cool example. So this is the plate shot, right? So this is just Neil shooting Miriam looking out at the harbor on a cloudy day. And what it turns into is a hurricane in the background, or the foreground, or the background, I guess. And the sky's tinted, and there's a lot of rain coming through, and all of sorts of weird and wonderful things. And it's actually super, absolutely super simple to do. You don't need to have a degree in rocket science or anything of the sort. This kind of guy, there's traffic in the background, and you see all sorts of weird and wonderful, horribly complex things happening up here, little markers and weird things. And then suddenly, everything in the background is gone. So this is how it was shot initially, with traffic in the back, as you can see. And then it was taken into Photoshop, of all things. Yes, Photoshop. And then the background was removed, and then you got this clean plate, and you'd never say there were any cars in the background. So it looks very cinematic. And if we look at something like, as an example, let's look at this explosion, right? Because Miriam said explosions is what After Effects is known for. And up to a point, yes. So how does it work? And this is pretty much just something, it's a stock piece of footage of an explosion that you can buy off the net. And it's put in, and it looks highly unrealistic at this point, until the thing that Neil does so well, which is coloring, comes into play. Yes, you can color in After Effects. So, and grade. So as you can see, the moment we start grading and adding color and doing all sorts of cool stuff, watch how it changes the entire look and feel. It now looks nice and moody. And here we got a guy playing Spider-Man, and he morphs into the real Spider-Man. And most people don't see that morph. It's so quick, as you can see. Look, all it is just morphing into the real Spider-Man, and then the background is removed. So we're going to learn all these cool and wonderful things. So how do we do this sort of stuff? Because when we open up After Effects, we don't see this, right? This is not what we see. We don't see something cool like this, or something, like this. We're going to just see your initial start screen, which is just what we're seeing right here. So what happens in this seriously mysterious piece of software is what we're going to demystify for you. We're going to demystify it in pieces and chunks. We're not going to take you through everything all at once. We're going to pick a portion, look at what it does, how to do it well, how to do it as a beginner, but make it look like a pro. So while we're doing this, you have a chat box. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. Look at us on all our social medias. But more importantly, ask questions. So if you want me to recreate something for you, and here's the challenge in this, if you want me to do something for you, I will do it live. And then you can learn from it instead of going to other channels and staying on Creativity-Hive, because that's where it's supposed to be, Creativity.
Yes, Creativity-Hive.
Right? You stay right here. Ask your question. Hey, how do I have raindrops fall on my head, but it's not raining? and I promise you, I will do it for you. If I cannot do it for you, if it's something that I cannot do, we prepared to give you a free plugin that's worth quite a bit of money. That's our guarantee. So I promise you, we'll get it done,
Whoa.
because we don't.
Whoa, that's quite a
Yeah,
promise.
it's a promise. And we'll even host you as one of our guests, as
Ooh, I like
somebody
that
that
idea.
maybe that wants to just be on a podcast and show us some cool stuff that they've done. So we're also going to choose a person maybe every week to just highlight some stuff or ask some questions on a podcast, which will give you some cool exposure. But again, thumbs up, like us, subscribe on all our channels. So let's look at something very simple, right? Very, very simple. Miriam doesn't know anything about After Effects. Neil knows even less, or the other way. I don't know.
No, I think it's the other way around.
So very, very simple, without even explaining to you what the timeline is and what all these panels are. Very easy to understand. Let's create a piece of text. Easy. Right-click, new text, right? We can go into this in detail when we're doing text. And I'm going to write... all right, so we've got this thing called After Effects. All great. All right, so now let's do something even cooler. Let's make it look insanely good and make it look like it's coming from After Effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put solid on. Don't even worry about what I'm doing right now. You'll just see the magic when it happens. So let's go ahead and put this here. And now you see something so cool because it starts to look like After Effects. It's like a lightsaber, right? But actually, we don't want a lightsaber. We want our text to actually begin to glow. So what I'm going to do here is text layer, and I'm going to choose After Effects. Okay. All right. So we're seeing some crazy stuff going on here. So we've got too much of a glow because that's what we've just added on. But I'm going to bring it down considerably, and I'm just going to change it to something called Patronus. It's just a preset. It's nothing that you need to really worry about creating. But as you can see, holy goodness, we've got some stuff going on that's starting to look a lot cooler than just a piece of text. And if we disable the effect or the layer the effects on, you'll see it's just your normal text, right? So we're working with very basic stuff at the beginning. But what we'd like to do is we actually want to make it look really cool, because right now all it's doing is just kind of emitting these like almost ripple effects and that. But what we want to do is we actually want to look at animating something. So look at this. It's all in that little plugin for you. And that's where we're going to concentrate on making your life as an After Effects artist easy. You could do this manually without a plugin. You'd need to learn, it's a bit of a learning curve to do it. And if you want to do it that way, it's always great not to rely on plugins too much, to learn the basics of how to do it manually before you kind of rely on a plugin. But for now, we'll just make life cool, make this fun, make you understand that you can actually do this with these free plugins. And the plugins I'm working with are completely free. So if you want a copy of it, we'll tell you exactly what it is. We'll put it in the chat box. So we've got this kind of really cool thing going on here, and we can animate the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here. And again, like I said, this is not by any standard a tutorial at all. It is just to show you what we can kind of do really quickly. And I'm just going to, it's like a little teaser.
Yeah.
So if I look at my animation, as you can see, that's what it's doing. It's doing this thing. It's busy rendering at the bottom, which is something that you need to understand. It's building the effects all together. It's like when you're baking, you're putting the eggs in and you put the flour and it bakes it all together and it makes the final cake. And that's what it's doing. It's just adding all of the effects onto that text layer. And if we play it back now, let's just play it back from here to here. And you'll see you've got this really cool little thing that just got done really quickly. So if you want to learn about After Effects, and if you want to understand what After Effects can do and why it is called After Effects, you will join us Miriam will tell you how often.
Yes. We are in January of 2023, we are going to start dropping a new video every week that is a tutorial about something cool and simple that you can do in After Effects.
Yes.
Mo's going to do that.
I am going
am
to do that.
not.
And I'm going to do something. Miriam's going to answer a few questions as we go. So I'm going to do something on the fly that I didn't think about. And I'm just going to go and type in high-rise building into my browser. I'm just going to pick a quick high-rise building. I'm just going to minimize that real quick. So let's just find a high-rise building like this. Let's put it aside. We don't know what this building is, but that doesn't matter. And I'm going to go in and import that into After Effects. So I'm bringing it into After Effects. What was it called? Something or the other? I don't remember what it's called. I think that, yes. Okay. All right. So we've got this kind of thing going on here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new composition, put that in there, and let's just see. That's where is that high-rise building? All right, cool. Let's just go back to the composition. Let's put that high-rise in here. We're going to do that kind of thing. And then we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to kind of just do this. And we're going to just scale them up a tad bit. As you can see, things are looking a whole lot different now. Let's bring one down, put one there. So we don't even know it's the same high-rise building. It looks a whole lot different. Let's take away the cars. And let's do that. All right, cool. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and show you what we saw earlier. And you should have a whole asset library of visual effects stuff. And I'm just going to kind of try and find where this stuff is. Explosions, right. Let's see if we can find explosions anyway. Right, so there's a whole lot of these things. All right, so let's see. Debris, charges, conceptions, and dust elements and slope charges. Let's see what that is. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Explosions. Let's do that. Alrighty. Import. Okay, so while it's busy importing. Okay. All right. I just want to undo that a second. All right, so we have these explosions, right? As you can see, there you go. That's an explosion, right? Let's just find one that suits us. And these are all stock. You can buy these off the net. These kind of cost money though. Let's just find something. I think right at the top would be better. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so let's go back to the composition we were in, which is the buildings. And let's bring that explosion right up here. And here's this really crazy looking explosion. Let's make it a little bit smaller. All right, let's play it back and just see what it does. Okay, as you can see, and I'm just going to change a thing called the blend mode, which allows me to blend the pixels. And I'm just going to go to modes. I'm just going to go to lighten. Yeah, cool. Let's put that there. I'm going to do that. And we can always, whatever, if we want to change the color of it, we can change the color of it. So if I can let's put it down here a little bit. And we've got this kind of fire thing going on at the bottom. Let me make it a whole lot bigger. All right. Okay, let's see where we are. All right, so the color is quite wrong. So I'm going to do what Neil does and loves doing, play around with color. So I'm just going to go into color correction and curves. I'm going to drop the curves in there and play with curves. As you can see, we're starting to make it look. Neil, don't bite my head off for making the curves a little bit wonky. But
I'm just having fun watching.
Okay, because Neil is the guru, so I am afraid to do stuff with color. We've got that kind of color going on here. All right, and then I'm going to go into levels. So once again, just go into levels. You can use, you can use certain plugins for this kind of stuff as well. So let's look at those levels and just get it a little bit more realistic feeling, like so. And push that up a tiny bit. Push that up a tiny bit. Bring that down a little bit. Okay, so far so good. Let's play back. Play back. Okay, so we are way too big on that. So we're going to bring it down. As you can see, we've got these edges that are showing, right? So we don't want the edges. So I'm just going to mask that edge out. So let's just see how much it plays. All right, about that much. Right here. All right, so let's just go here. Let's go try to bring that down here. Right there. So if you look at this, and we at this point in time, we're actually using the wrong sort of explosion because it's too fast. But I mean, we could always slow it down. So what I'm going to do really quickly, without going into this thing in too much detail, is I'm going to go back into the visual effects and find the where is it? It's always good to know where things are. But,
That always helps.
so much of stuff that you have that you tend to forget where things are. So let's look at explosions. So tropical explosions. Let's see the footage. Oops. Okay. All right, cool. Let's bring that in. Okay.
Talking with guys that work in After Effects much and gals, they tend to have massive libraries like what Mo's talking about, where they've got skies, they've got explosions, they've got buildings, they've got puppy dogs, they've got kitty cats.
They've got everything.
You think of.
Absolutely. I mean, the visual effects guys always have stuff, stock assets that are very important to have. It's always good to have stock assets.
I mean, they're as bad as the sound people. How big are your sound libraries you have on your system? And they go,
yeah, they're monstrously big. Monstrously big.
They go, I got about 30 gigs now. And all of these files on like for sound effects, the files are actually pretty small. So when a guy is talking about having 30 gigs, okay, that's what 25,000 different files he's got. Well, yeah, but they're all organized.
They'd have to be.
They have to be, absolutely. I know I spent a lot of time just trying to organize little bits and pieces of files. Okay, so we've got this explosion is a little bit better. All right, so we've got that going on, right? Now, what we can do is we can go in and grab some debris and just, so you can see there's a lot of stuff here. There's fire as well. So let's go to detonate. And let's look at this. Yeah, that's a cool one. All right. Yeah, that's the one I want. All right, let's just copy that back into that composition. Let's put this here. Let's find it. And yeah, put it about here. All right, as you can see, it's black, so we'll have to change the mode of that. And let's look at where that explosion is. All right, so we're going to leave it at that point, and then I'm going to go into a thing called a camera shake, right? And I'm going to, let's go into Red Giants. We're going to use a lot of stuff with Red Giant, so I'm just going to kind of put these into Yeah, to that one. And you'll see we've got this really funny kind of looking camera shake, and it looks horrible right now. It looks like, oh my God, what's going on? But as we start to, as we start to tweak very slowly, you'll notice that at some point we start to begin to get realistic like this, that sort of slight movement. And this is the trick about After Effects. Initially, when you start to do it, it really looks corny and it looks like it's horrible and it looks like it's just kind of cartoony and weird. And that's the point a lot of people kind of give up, because they like, how do I refine it? And the trick in After Effects is actually going past the point where it looks like it's kind of weird looking and it's not very professional, and to continue after this. This is just your setup. The tweaking of the setup is actually the point that you want to go to make it look professional in its nature. So we're going to be learning about how to use all of the effects, how to create your own effects, how to create some cool stuff that we need to create. As an example, a crack on this wall. How do we create that, right? Or how to make the building shatter, and so forth. So there's a lot of cool stuff we're going to learn along the way. It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be annoying. It's not going to be where you, like, in 2 minutes flat, you're fast asleep, which most tutorials kind of do that to me. But it's actually going to be interactive. And again, if you were watching this and you had a question, you need to ask the question and say, hey, not only a question, maybe a suggestion. Hey, could you maybe make this palm tree disappear? We don't want a palm tree here. So how would we make that disappear? We could do it in one or two ways. I mean, we could take it in Photoshop, get it, completely gone, content away full, clone stamp tool, or whatever the case may be. Or we can even do it in After Effects if we really want to do it in After Effects. There's a lot of ways to actually get things done inside After Effects without having to go to third-party applications or Photoshop or that kind of stuff. So if you look at this palm tree, we could again make it go away. I could cut out a piece of this and just drop it over the top. Very easy to do. Duplicate it, cut out a piece, and then push it right over the top. So easy to do, right? So let's just, why am I saying it? Let me just do it. So let me duplicate that, and I'm going to just kind of hide everything down here. So I'm going to just kind of do that, and let me see where it is. All right, that's there. Let me take away the shake for now. Take away that. So, okay. It's always good to learn to name your layers, because if you don't, then
you'll get lost.
You're going to get lost very, very quickly. So this is the layer. I'm just going to call it 1. And I'm going to duplicate that. All right, so 1 and 2. All right, so let's concentrate on number 2. We're going to go in and we're going to kind of just do this right over there, like so. Cool. Let's bring down the bottom layer. Let's go to the one we just duplicated and
boom.
Just disappeared just like that. That's awesome. See, so now it's gone. Right, so that's just a really quick one, but you get the point. You can do it really quickly, and most people are like, oh my God, how did you do that, and how did that happen? But what's cool about this is the fact that we've got this layer at the bottom, right? And what I could do is I could maybe, if I wanted to, go in and say, let me go into simulation, and now I'll just shut it. All right, and now you've got all sorts of weird things going on, and you're like, what's going on? But what's happening here is that this, let me just actually show you the rendered version so you can see. So look at that piece. Look what it's doing.
Ooh.
So when the explosion hits it actually shatters. Pretty simple trick. Most people don't know it's there, and they don't know how to refine it, and don't know how to make it look cool. So all I can say is, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Well,
That
one of the things that is really clear is that if Mo has had any chance to work with some footage, do not trust your eyes.
Nothing is ever real. I'm not actually here. What's behind me is not real. This is not my real face. Yeah, it's not Neil's not drinking from a cup. It's just all
it's
being
all
after
after
effected.
effects.
After effected, yes. So we're hoping.
So yeah, so we're hoping to go ahead and expose everybody to a bunch of fun After Effects. We'll be dropping a new episode every week is our plan, starting in January of 2023. And yeah, comment, ask questions, and we'll just take it from there.
And
This
I
will be
think
fun.
the show's name is going to actually be, and I was just thinking about this, what is your After Effects?
What is your After Effects?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we want your projects. We want to see what you can do. Show us some cool stuff. It can look horribly simplistic, but it's still creative, right? So maybe I can take what you're working with and make it look really cool while teaching you what you need to do. Or
There you
maybe I learn something new because you've got a technique that I didn't know about yet. So we're all busy learning at the same time. So what is your After Effects? Join us every week on the hour, every hour. Trying to talk like that, but anyway. So get ready for it. It's going to be really cool, short, sweet, and lots of fun. And we hope you enjoy it. Maybe at the end of this, Marie can play that clip again so that you can be a little bit more inspired again to see what can really be done besides moving buildings and shattering things. Hoping
all
to
right.
see you guys soon.
I'm going to play it again. That sounds like a great idea.